You may think that keeping all your food in the refrigerator is the safest way to protect it. But the truth is that this habit could quietly be ruining your nutrition and even harming your health. I have seen far too many seniors who believe the fridge preserves everything, only to discover that certain foods lose their flavor, texture, and vital nutrients when stored cold. Some even become unsafe to eat. What looks like a good idea on the surface can slowly damage your heart, your digestion, and your overall well-being. As a doctor, I need you to understand that the refrigerator is not a one-size-fits-all solution. In fact, there are 9 common foods that you must never refrigerate, because doing so changes their chemistry, increases hidden risks, and destroys the very benefits your body needs as you age. In this video, I will reveal each of these 9 foods, explain the science of why refrigeration harms them, and give you safe, practical alternatives that will keep your meals fresh and your health protected. Before we dive in, if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. And if you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I know how to make better content for you. Part 1. Tomatoes, the silent flavor destroyer. The first food that you should never refrigerate is the tomato. A staple in so many kitchens and a vital source of antioxidants like lycopene, vitamin C, and potassium. Many seniors, out of habit, place fresh tomatoes in the refrigerator to make them last longer. It seems logical, but what actually happens is silent damage to both taste and nutrition. Tomatoes are living fruits that continue to ripen after being picked. When stored at room temperature, their natural enzymes slowly develop the sugars and acids that give tomatoes their unique balance of sweetness and tang. But when you put them in the fridge, the cold temperature interferes with this ripening process. The cell membranes inside the tomato break down. The flesh becomes mealy and watery, and the flavor that should be vibrant turns flat and dull. More importantly, chilling reduces the release of lycopene, the very compound that gives tomatoes their red color and powerful heart protective effects. Seniors rely on foods like tomatoes to reduce oxidative stress, protect memory, and lower the risk of stroke. By refrigerating them, you lose much of that benefit. I have spoken with patients who told me they avoided tomatoes because they thought they tasted bland or unpleasant, not realizing it was refrigeration that ruined them. Fresh tomatoes kept at room temperature are not only more delicious, they also preserve their full nutritional profile. For seniors, this matters because every meal is an opportunity to nourish the body against disease. The safe alternative is simple. Store your tomatoes in a cool and dry place on the counter, away from direct sunlight. Allow them to ripen naturally, and once fully ripe, consume them within a few days. If you have cut tomatoes, you may refrigerate them briefly in an airtight container, but only if you plan to eat them quickly. And always bring them back to room temperature before serving. Flavor and nutrition are restored that way. The lesson here is clear. Tomatoes are not designed for cold storage. And every time you put them in the fridge, you are stripping away both taste and health benefits. If this surprised you, wait until you hear about the next food. The potato, which turns into a hidden sugar trap when exposed to refrigeration. Part 2. Potatoes, the sugar trap in disguise. The second food that you should never refrigerate is the potato, one of the most common staples in senior diets. Potatoes are rich in complex carbohydrates, fiber, potassium, and vitamin C, making them an excellent source of steady energy when prepared correctly. But when you place potatoes in the refrigerator, the cold temperature triggers a process that quietly transforms them from a healthy food into a hidden sugar trap. Inside every potato are starch molecules that normally break down slowly in the body, providing gradual energy. Cold storage disrupts this balance. At low temperatures, the starch in potatoes converts into simple sugars far more rapidly. This process, called cold-induced sweetening, may not change the look of the potato, but it changes its chemistry. When these chilled potatoes are later cooked, especially by frying, roasting, or baking, the sugars combine with amino acids to produce acrylamide, a potentially harmful compound linked in studies to increased risk of nerve damage and even cancer for seniors who already face higher risks of heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. This unnecessary chemical exposure can be dangerous. In addition, the sweeter taste may go unnoticed but still cause spikes in blood sugar, undermining stable energy levels and making diabetes harder to control. I recall one patient who proudly told me he always kept a bag of potatoes in the fridge to extend shelf life, not realizing he was raising his risk of both unstable blood sugar and toxin exposure. The better way to store potatoes is in a cool, dry, dark place, such as a pantry or cupboard. The temperature should be slightly below room temperature, but never as cold as the fridge. A ventilated paper bag or basket helps prevent moisture buildup and sprouting. Under these conditions, potatoes can last for weeks without losing their beneficial starches. If you see sprouting or green patches, it is best to discard those areas because they may contain solanine, another harmful compound. The lesson here is simple. Potatoes belong in a pantry, not a refrigerator. Protect their nutrients, keep their starches stable, and avoid the silent sugar trap that cold storage creates. If this has opened your eyes, wait until you hear about the next food. Onions, which can turn into a dangerous moisture hazard when kept in the fridge. Part 3. Onions, the moisture hazard. The third food that you should never refrigerate is the onion, a powerful ingredient known for its antioxidants, sulfur compounds, and heart-protecting properties. Onions are part of nearly every senior's kitchen because they add flavor while offering benefits such as lowering blood pressure, reducing cholesterol, and supporting immune function. But the way you store onions can make the difference between preserving these benefits or turning them into a source of hidden risk. Many people place onions in the refrigerator believing the cold will keep them fresh. In reality, refrigeration creates the perfect conditions for moisture to accumulate on the onion surface, and within its many layers, this extra moisture promotes mold, bacteria, and early spoilage. Instead of lasting longer, onions stored in the fridge often soften, develop spots, and lose both flavor and nutrients more quickly. Worse still, moldy onions can produce toxins that irritate the stomach and increase inflammation, a dangerous outcome for seniors already vulnerable to digestive issues and weakened immunity. Refrigerated onions also tend to absorb odors from surrounding foods. Their natural sharpness is dulled, and they may take on unpleasant tastes that make them less enjoyable and less likely to be used regularly. I have spoken with patients who told me they avoided onions because they upset their stomach, only to discover that improper storage was the true cause. The correct way to store onions is in a cool, dry, well-ventilated place, such as a basket in the pantry. Air circulation is essential because it prevents the buildup of moisture that refrigeration causes. Onions should never be kept in plastic bags, which trap humidity. But instead, in mesh bags or open containers, when stored properly, they can last for weeks while retaining their crisp texture and full nutritional value. There is one exception. Once you cut an onion, you must refrigerate it in an airtight container to prevent bacterial growth. But you should use it within a day or two. Whole onions, however, are best kept away from the cold. The lesson is clear. Refrigerating onions invites moisture, mold, and nutrient loss, turning a powerful health food into a potential hazard. Protect their benefits by storing them correctly and enjoy their natural flavor and healing compounds. If this surprised you, wait until you hear about the next food. Garlic, which becomes vulnerable to mold and loses its medicinal power when placed in the fridge. Part 4. Garlic, the mold risk. The fourth food that you should never refrigerate is garlic, a small bulb with enormous power. Garlic has been celebrated for centuries as a natural medicine, offering antibacterial, antiviral, and heart-protecting benefits. Its active compound, allicin, is known to reduce blood pressure, lower cholesterol, and support circulation, making it an especially valuable food for seniors who want to protect their brain and heart. But when garlic is stored in the refrigerator, much of this benefit is lost. Cold storage traps garlic in a damp, humid environment. Instead of preserving it, the moisture encourages mold and sprouting. Moldy garlic not only loses its sharp flavor and healing power, but can also produce toxins that irritate the digestive system and harm the liver. Sprouted garlic, while not poisonous, develops a bitter taste and reduced potency, meaning the allicin levels drop and the health benefits are diminished. I have seen patients who complained that garlic upset their stomach, not realizing that spoiled or moldy cloves from the fridge were the real culprit. The correct way to store garlic is at room temperature in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area, a mesh bag, basket, or even a paper bag allows air circulation and keeps the cloves dry, which prevents mold growth. Under these conditions, whole bulbs can last for weeks without losing their powerful aroma or health benefits. Once a bulb is broken and individual cloves are exposed, it is best to use them within a few days to ensure maximum freshness and potency. If you need to store peeled or chopped garlic, refrigerate it only in a sealed container for a very short time. But understand that its nutritional power will decline quickly. For seniors, this matters because garlic is more than just a seasoning. It is a natural medicine chest that works silently to protect your heart and brain. Losing its potency by storing it incorrectly is like throwing away free protection against disease. The lesson is simple. Garlic thrives in dry air, not in cold moisture. Keep it out of the fridge to protect its healing compounds, its flavor, and your health. If this makes you rethink how you store garlic, wait until you hear about the next food, bread, which becomes stale and loses its nourishing quality much faster when placed in the refrigerator. Part 5. Bread, the staleness accelerator. The fifth food that you should never refrigerate is bread, a staple in many households and an important source of energy, fiber, and nutrients when made from whole grains. Seniors often keep bread in the refrigerator, believing that the cold will extend its shelf life and prevent mold. While this seems logical, the truth is that refrigeration is one of the worst things you can do to bread. What happens inside bread at low temperatures is a process called retrogradation. The starch molecules in the bread, which are responsible for its soft texture, begin to crystallize in the cold. This makes the bread turn dry, tough, and stale far more quickly than if it were left at room temperature. In other words, the fridge does not protect bread, it actually accelerates its decline. Many patients have told me they avoided bread because it always tasted hard and unpleasant, not realizing that refrigeration was the culprit. For seniors, this matters because stale bread is not just less enjoyable to eat. It also makes proper nutrition harder to maintain. When food loses its appeal, people tend to eat less, skip meals, or turn to less healthy options. Bread kept in the fridge also loses its aroma, an important part of stimulating appetite and digestion. The correct way to store bread depends on how quickly you plan to eat it. If you will finish a loaf within a few days, keep it at room temperature in a bread box, paper bag, or cloth bag that allows some airflow, while protecting it from excess moisture. This keeps the crust crisp and the inside soft. If you have more bread than you can finish in that time, the best option is to freeze it. Freezing halts the staling process without damaging texture or nutrients. Simply slice the bread before freezing so you can take out only what you need. Toast it directly and enjoy it fresh. For seniors, this approach not only saves money, but also ensures you always have soft, nutritious bread ready to eat. The lesson is clear. Bread belongs on the counter for short-term use and in the freezer for long-term storage, but never in the refrigerator. Cold temperatures only speed up staleness and reduce the quality of this important food. If this surprised you, wait until you hear about the next food. Honey, which loses its natural stability and turns into hard crystals when stored in the fridge. Part 6. Honey, the crystallization problem. The sixth food that you should never refrigerate is honey, one of nature's most remarkable gifts. Honey is not only a natural sweetener, but also a powerful antibacterial and antioxidant food that has been used for centuries to promote healing, soothe sore throats, and even support wound recovery. For seniors, honey can be a safer alternative to refined sugar when used in moderation, and its enzymes and trace minerals provide unique health benefits. Yet when honey is placed in the refrigerator, its natural stability is ruined. Honey is naturally low in water and high in sugar, a combination that prevents bacteria and mold from growing. This is why honey can last for years, even decades, without spoiling if kept properly sealed. But when you refrigerate it, the cold environment causes the sugars to crystallize quickly. What was once smooth, golden, and easy to pour becomes gritty, hard, and difficult to use. This crystallization does not make honey unsafe, but it does change its texture, flavor, and usability, leading many people to throw it away unnecessarily. I have seen seniors waste jars of perfectly good honey because they thought it had gone bad, when in reality, the refrigerator simply triggered a natural reaction. The health risk lies in the fact that reheating crystallized honey incorrectly can destroy its beneficial enzymes and antioxidants. Many people microwave it or heat it to high temperatures, which kills the very compounds that make honey protective for the heart, immune system, and digestion. The correct way to store honey is at room temperature, tightly sealed in a glass jar or food-safe container, kept in a cool and dry place away from direct sunlight. If honey does crystallize, the safest way to restore it is to place the jar in warm water and stir gently, never exposing it to boiling heat. For seniors, this simple care ensures honey remains a safe, soothing, and nutritious part of daily life. Honey belongs on your pantry shelf, not in your refrigerator. The lesson is simple. Honey is naturally stable, and refrigeration only shortens its usefulness while destroying its texture. If this makes you reconsider how you handle honey, wait until you hear about the next food. Bananas, which lose their natural ripening process and turn unpleasant when exposed to the cold of a fridge. Part 7. Bananas, the ripening stopper. The seventh food that you should never refrigerate is the banana. One of the most commonly eaten fruits among seniors and a rich source of potassium, fiber, and natural energy. Bananas are prized for their ability to regulate blood pressure, support heart health, and ease digestion. Many older adults enjoy them as a quick snack or blend them into smoothies for easy nutrition. But one mistake I see far too often is placing bananas directly into the refrigerator. This habit may seem harmless, but in reality, it halts the natural ripening process and damages the fruit's quality. Bananas ripen through the release of ethylene gas, which gradually softens the fruit, enhances sweetness, and develops its aroma. When you refrigerate bananas before they are fully ripe, the cold disrupts this process. The peel turns black and unattractive, while the inside may remain hard, flavorless, and unevenly ripened. Even when bananas are already ripe, refrigeration breaks down their cell structure, causing the flesh to become mushy, watery, and less appealing. This matters for seniors because texture and flavor directly affect appetite. If food becomes unappealing, many older adults will simply eat less, missing out on important nutrients their bodies need. There is also a health aspect. Bananas are valued for their stable energy release due to natural starches, converting to sugars gradually. Cold storage interferes with this balance, altering the taste and making the fruit less enjoyable to eat regularly. The correct way to store bananas is at room temperature, in a fruit basket, or on the counter, away from direct sunlight. If you want a slow ripening, you can separate the bananas from the bunch or wrap the stem with a small piece of foil to reduce the spread of ethylene gas. If bananas become too ripe, the best option is to freeze them peeled and cut into slices. Frozen bananas can be used later in smoothies or healthy desserts without losing their nutrients. This approach avoids the pitfalls of refrigeration while still preventing waste. For seniors, bananas are more than just fruit. They are a simple, affordable, and highly effective way to protect heart health and maintain energy. Do not ruin their benefits by refrigerating them. The lesson is clear. Bananas need warmth to ripen naturally, not cold temperatures that stop the process and spoil their appeal. If this explanation makes sense, wait until you hear about the next food. Coffee, which turns into an odor-absorbing trap when stored in the fridge. Part 8. Coffee, the odor absorber. The eighth food that you should never refrigerate is coffee. A daily ritual for many seniors who enjoy its warmth, flavor, and gentle boost of energy. Coffee, whether in whole beans or ground form, is valued not only for taste, but also for its antioxidants, which may help protect the brain and reduce inflammation. However, storing coffee in the refrigerator is one of the most damaging things you can do to it. Coffee is naturally porous, meaning its tiny particles act like sponges. When placed in the fridge, coffee absorbs the odors and moisture from everything around it. That means instead of retaining its natural aroma, it begins to smell and taste like the leftovers stored beside it. Garlic, onions, fish, and even sauces can seep into your coffee beans or grounds, leaving you with a bitter, unpleasant cup that discourages regular use. Moisture is another hidden enemy. Refrigerators create condensation, and when moisture clings to coffee, it speeds up the breakdown of natural oils. These oils are what give coffee its rich flavor and protective compounds. Once they degrade, the coffee turns stale quickly, losing both taste and antioxidant potency. For seniors, this is important because coffee, when enjoyed in moderation, can be a healthy habit. It supports alertness, protects memory, and even lowers the risk of certain diseases. But stale, bitter coffee is less appealing, leading many older adults to skip it or replace it with sugary alternatives that harm health. The correct way to store coffee is in an airtight container, placed in a cool, dark cupboard at room temperature. If you buy whole beans, grind only what you need for each brew, because ground coffee loses freshness much faster. For long-term storage, freezing is acceptable, but only if the beans are sealed tightly in small portions to prevent moisture from entering. Even then, once thawed, they should not be refrozen. The lesson is simple. Coffee belongs in your pantry, not your refrigerator. Protect its aroma, preserve its antioxidants, and enjoy it as a healthy part of your daily routine. If this has surprised you, wait until you hear about the ninth and final food: cooking oils, which harden and lose their natural quality when stored in the fridge. Part 9. Oils, the fat hardener. The ninth food that you should never refrigerate is cooking oil, especially healthy oils like olive oil, coconut oil, or avocado oil that many seniors use daily to protect their heart and brain. Oils are liquid fats, and their structure is sensitive to temperature. When placed in the refrigerator, the cold causes these fats to solidify or become cloudy. This process is not harmful in itself, but it signals a loss of quality and makes the oils less pleasant to use. Refrigeration changes their texture, making them thick and sometimes grainy. The flavor profile can also be altered, dulling the rich taste that makes these oils both enjoyable and beneficial. More importantly, condensation inside the bottle can introduce small amounts of water, creating an environment where mold can develop. This risk is particularly concerning for unrefined oils, which are less processed and contain more natural compounds. For seniors, these oils are more than just cooking ingredients. Olive oil provides monounsaturated fats that lower cholesterol and reduce inflammation. Coconut oil offers medium-chain fatty acids that support energy and brain health. And avocado oil supplies vitamin E to protect the skin and blood vessels. Losing these benefits because of poor storage is a waste of both health and money. The correct way to store oils is at room temperature in a dark glass bottle or stainless steel container, away from direct sunlight and heat sources. A pantry or cupboard is ideal. If you buy oils in large quantities, keep a small bottle for daily use and store the rest in a cool, dark space, but never in the fridge. This protects the delicate compounds that make oils so valuable. One exception is nut oils, like walnut or flaxseed oil, which are highly unstable and may require refrigeration once opened. However, the majority of common cooking oils should stay out of the refrigerator. The lesson is clear. Oils harden in the cold, lose flavor, and may even spoil more quickly due to condensation. Keeping them at room temperature preserves their health benefits and ensures they remain safe and enjoyable to use. If this final warning has made you rethink your storage habits, Stay with me for the conclusion, where I will summarize all 9 foods and remind you how small changes in your kitchen can protect your health for years to come. Conclusion: 9 foods you must never refrigerate. We have now reached the conclusion, and it is time to bring all 9 foods together into one clear message. Storing food properly is not just about taste. It is about health, nutrition, and protecting your body as you age. Too many seniors believe that the refrigerator is the safest place for everything. But the truth is that this habit can quietly damage both your food and your health. Tomatoes lose their natural ripening and valuable lycopene. Potatoes convert starch into sugar, creating harmful compounds when cooked. Onions trap moisture and grow mold. Garlic loses its potency and develops toxins in damp cold. Bread becomes stale and unappetizing, discouraging proper nutrition. Honey crystallizes, leading many to throw away a food that never truly spoils. Bananas stop ripening and turn unpleasant. Coffee absorbs odors and moisture, leaving it bitter and stale. Oils harden, lose flavor, and may even spoil from condensation. Each of these mistakes reduces not only the taste and enjoyment of your meals, but also the nutrients your body relies on to protect your heart, brain, joints, and memory. For seniors who already face challenges with appetite and digestion, food must be both nourishing and appealing. Improper storage makes healthy eating harder, and that has real consequences for long-term health. The lesson is simple. Respect the natural properties of each food. Keep tomatoes and bananas at room temperature. Store potatoes in a dark, cool pantry. Protect onions and garlic with ventilation. Freeze bread if you cannot finish it in time. Leave honey sealed in a cupboard. Keep coffee in an airtight container away from moisture. And store oils in dark bottles away from heat. By following these simple steps, you preserve both flavor and nutrition. As a doctor, I am telling you this not to frighten you, but to empower you. Small changes in how you handle food can protect your health, prevent waste, and make every meal more enjoyable. Your kitchen habits matter more than you think. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these 9 foods surprised you the most? Share your answer in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, type 1. If not, type 0 so I know how to make better content for you. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another health tip made just for you. And most importantly, share this knowledge with someone you love. The life you protect may not only be your own, but also the health of your family and friends.